Now, I request our beloved Chairman and Managing Trustee, Shri Harshavardhan V. Agri sir, to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Good morning and good afternoon, depending on how you're feeling today. If you're more in the back, it's the morning. If you're more in the front, it's in the afternoon right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to address all of you today, and I want to thank all the dignitaries on the stage. Dr. Aki, I'm not highly learned, so I'm okay. But as well as I want to welcome all the dignitaries that are sitting in the front rows here. I want to thank the faculty, the non-teaching staff, and most importantly, welcome students to the Foundation Day after 3 years of COVID. I think I'll start my speech. I like your enthusiasm. I'll start my speech by making an announcement. Do we have an additional chair? Because I think we might require it. We are announcing the opening of our PUC college, and Dr. Harshavardhan is our new principal. Please come up. Give him a big applause. He has been, congratulations, he has been with us 20 plus years and very dedicated, very loyal. There is an incentive for faculties that achieve their PhD. We have revised and increased salaries for the labor category, security department, as well as pay revision for all non-teaching staff. There is a new leave policy, as well as I have to thank Dr. Barkey. The only thing I wish is I do not work for him. He's very tough, he's very balanced, and has a very robust scorecard for faculty ratings. And Dr. Hampanara has given a lot of input. As you can see, Dr. Hampanara is the kind side of the college. The enforcer is Dr. Barkey. Trust me on this. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you the India you live in today versus the India that I was growing up in. When I was growing up, when I was your age, students, India produced 40,000 cars a year. 40,000 cars a year. India today produces 5 million cars. They now produce, India produces more cars for the first time in the history of mankind than the United States. This is the India you live in, where every moment counts. Next, let me talk about just random things. Forget the trillions, the billions, and the crores. I'm going to talk in mathematics. If the size of the Indian economy when I was 21 was 0.2, it is now 2.0. In the next 10 years, this will go to 10.0. That means every person living in the country will be 5 times more successful in 10 years or less. It is up to you to seize success of that growth and opportunity. It is in you if you decide to embrace that success. I'm going to look at another angle, students. Very simple. You are approximately 20 years old. The good news is Dr. Mulimani is bringing the average age down on the stage. I feel much better as he's sitting on stage. I am only 60. My mother is in her 80s. I'm going to give you an example of somebody you wouldn't even think of. Amitabh Bachchan is 80 years old, running the most popular TV show. You are 20. You have 60 years of productivity left at a minimum. I'm in my 60s. I have 20 years left of my productivity. That means you can produce 3x of what my potential is. When you get up in the morning, don't forget 3x the potential of the chairman of this college. Don't forget that. ಯಾವಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನಾನು 50s ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಯ್ಯೋ 50s ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬಂತು. Wrong sentence. You can lead life to its fullest with the highest energy every minute, even the way you walk in, the way you walk out. It needs to be firm and fast. When you shake hands, firm and hard. The next is, I want to talk about belief. I know there are distinctions here, there are first classes here, there are second classes here, there are third classes and pass classes. I was a perfect student. I perfectly scored second class in every single exam in my life. Perfect. Always the same marks. But guess what? I had belief in me that I can make things happen regardless of what my score is. The higher scores open the doors. But once you get past the door, the magic is in your hands and in your head. Doesn't matter if you're working for a company, doesn't matter if you're in your father's business, does not matter if you're working in the college. What was the first job, the very first job our Prime Minister had? Chaiwala. When you see a chaiwala give you chai on the station, you may not realize that that child or young man could become the Prime Minister. I take a lot of photos with all of you, and my wife does as well. You know why? Because in 20 years, you're going to be quite famous, and yaru namballa, namage neevu gottu. Ee photos tagidre will have an advantage. I had a couple of classmates when I went for my master's. Some interesting names. They were not famous then. They're much more famous than me today. Melinda Gates, Tim Cook. I'm sure you've heard of those names. Those names are sitting amongst you now. You don't know which one of you is going to be famous. Be nice to each other, because you will be famous. The next thing I want to talk about is, when I was growing up, my parents applied for a landline. My father, the founding chairman, was state-of-the-art in everything he did. We were the first people in the building to get the television, whether we could afford it or not. The very first people to get the telephone. The very first people to get a car. So he applied for a phone when I was born. Exactly 21 years later, when I was leaving India, we got the telephone that was applied in my name. You students will be shocked. That was the India then. How fast can you get a cell phone today? Immediately, same day, maybe same hour, as long as you have your ID. As long as you have your debit card, you're going to have a phone in your hand. This speed, velocity of change is extremely dynamic. The water is flowing fast. If you get in it, you need to learn how to sail rapidly. Today, we were blessed as the dignitaries on the stage, as well as many of the dignitaries in the first few rows here, to see approximately 15 to 20 incredible cutting-edge projects. And I think somebody mentioned here public-private partnership and many other things. Well, guess what? Right as I was sitting there, I got an idea. We're going to start what is called as the FSCP program. It stands for F for faculty, S for students, C for college, and P for partnership. Faculty-student-college partnership. We will assign 25 lakhs to be invested in your projects. You have to. 25 lakhs is available. It is up to you. You have to give us a proposal of how you can commercialize it. One faculty member, only one will be assigned as your guide. You get to select who that faculty member is. Nobody but you. The college will have 20% equity in your company, the faculty member 5%. You own 75% of the company. The day we fund you, we want to compete with your placement office. I don't want you to look for a job. Mr. Sanat Kumar, we are in competition now. Because if you're willing to be an entrepreneur, we will give you the money to be an entrepreneur. It is up to you when 3-4, by the way, there is a 50% chance you'll fail. There is a 50% chance you will succeed. But guess what? At 60, I can't do those experiments. At 20, you can try to do that experiment before you take up a regular job. There are enough mentors just sitting on stage here. Again, faculty-student-college partnership is announced. 25 lakhs is available for you students to pick up from the table if you choose to. And finally, in terms of other discussions, there is a fair amount of active discussion in the United States that I'm having with at least 2 universities that want to create a pathway for a guaranteed master's programs for our college students. If they choose not to go for jobs in India, or they choose not to be an entrepreneur, but they want to go overseas, we will try to create that methodology. It might start slow, but eventually it will pick up. But even that is being discussed as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, I know there's a lot of issues and complaints on infrastructure. I'm going to give you just one example. My father grew up in Lakshmeshwar. His primary mode of transportation was the bullock cart. Many of you didn't know him, none of you have ever met him. Many of the faculty have. His primary mode of transportation was a bullock cart. He would go to sell groceries for his father as well as buy groceries from other towns. He was approximately between the ages of 8 and 10. The guy running the bullock cart was in charge of the money. If he could leave this town, go get a bachelor's and a master's and an LLB in Bombay, become a CMD of a large American company, you have no excuse. None whatsoever. He came from a bullock cart all the way to creating this campus. You will be able to do more. But without question, we will do everything to continue to improve the campus step by step. Guess what? My mother, my wife, I and my son and the trustees and the governing council and the college administration is against. We don't believe in capitation fee. We don't believe in donations. We will not do that. The idea of education is to reach it as fast, as deep in the surrounding communities of where we are located. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. You have a fantastic life ahead, students. Make it sparkle every moment. Best wishes and thank you.